Hello and welcome along to another episode of this FM21 Build a Nation story from Bangor City with me, Daniel. It's part 33 today and we are back for a big one. It's our debut final in the SPFL Trust Trophy, a competition we fell in love with under the Tunnocks Caramel Wafer name last season in FM20 with Cliftonville. And this season we've got our first chance to win it as a Welsh team, as we come up against Scottish side Dunfermline. Now in our other two universes, both the head coach and of course the live streams with Dundee United, Dunfermline have become a Premier League side, a Scottish Premiership team. And here, they're top of the Scottish Championship, so they're very much on course to do the same in a few weeks. So this is going to be the toughest test we've had so far. Of course, we've beaten Larne, a big side in Northern Ireland, a professional team. We've beaten Rangers and Celtic reserves. We've beaten Hamilton, a bit lower down this championship table. But now, we've got the best side. Their key player, Bobby Coppin, gives you an understanding of just how good they are. And for us, it's going to be a really interesting game. How far have we come? How far have we got to go? I think we'll have a few answers in about 15 minutes. So if you're looking forward to that and you are enjoying the series, please do put a thumbs up on the video. Subscribe down below for daily FM21 content from two long-term stories. We of course hope that this is the penultimate episode of the season, as we're looking for our first Welsh Cup success as well. 2 finals, 2 defeats, and we're through to the semi-finals again. And if we look at our recent form, that's because in addition to staying unbeaten in the league, just 3-4 games away from that invincible season now, we also got a comfortable win in the quarter-final of the Cup. So since you were last with me, we of course played Celtic and Connah's Quay. We beat Aberystwyth 3-0 in the Welsh Cup quarter-final. Glatzel, Duffy and Cottrell, all of the front three getting a goal. Josh Benson missed a penalty. A 0-0 draw at home to Carmarthen, a game we dominated but just couldn't get the result. And the way they defended and the low blocks sort of showed why they're up in second in the league. They're now 5 points clear with 4 to go. So it looks like they're going to get a European place. We just need one of these sides to go on a little run and then hopefully they'll go professional. TNS flattering to deceive. Barry have dropped right out of it. They're in 6th place. And Connah's Quay and Aberystwyth fighting for the 3rd automatic spot. But it could depend on the Welsh Cup final because as you can see, we've got lower league opposition in the semis in Afan Lido. But we did beat TNS 4-1 in our last league game. A Max Dean hat-trick back in the side. And Joe Duffy got one as well. TNS gave us a scare. They played all right. They've just not got the defensive quality. It looks like Heston Davis is on his way. Of course, one of the stars who we've interviewed over on the podcast. And going forward, they look great. But defensively, there's not much else there. So we've got the big test against Dunfermline. It looks like both sides are fully fit. And then if we beat Afan Lido in a semi-final of the Welsh Cup, it looks like we'll be playing either Barry or TNS. Now, both of these have a tendency to annoy us. Barry beat us in Season 1 in the Cup final. They took the title off us in Season 3 in Wales. And TNS, although flattering to deceive, have had runs in the Cup themselves. If we have a look at the history, they won it the year before last when we weren't in the final. Our 2 defeats to Barry and Carmarthen. So it's all a little bit competitive at the top of the Welsh pyramid at the moment. We don't know who wants to be best of the rest. The professional sides are struggling to make an impact. So I don't really know where to go with it. We're going to be interested in the Build a Nation side of this. Because if next season we can just sneak into those Europa Conference groups, it could be a really interesting moment for us. So we'll wait and see how that goes. But before we get into today's game and have a look at the big cup final, we've got to go through to the development centre because we have got our latest youth intake and it is absolutely appalling. So here it is, 1.5 star potential is the top of the rank. There is a Pole, a Greek, 2 Greeks in fact, and a Northern Irishman in there, which Amari Morgan-Smith has no knowledge of Greece. So I'm not quite sure where these have come from. I'm going to have to go and have a look to see if we've got any in the club info. I can't remember how to look at the scouting, so bear with me a second. This is what I was looking for. I don't really understand where the Greek knowledge is coming from there. It doesn't make much sense to me. I guess because we've got an Italian owner. Can we get some players from that end of Europe? Perhaps that's what's causing it. We used to get a few Greeks through in Italian youth intakes. So I don't know if that's the answer to it, but it seems to be a little bit unique. So we'll keep an eye out on what happens the next couple of years. Hopefully an increase in quality. We've got to hang on for the finances for a few more months. And then next year, if we get the Champions League money in the qualifiers, if we can get to the group stages of the Europa Conference, we can really then start to boost the facilities as the bank balance will go up. But the decline in terms of money has sort of slowed down a little bit. Only 20 odd grand lost last month. Hopefully the same to come this month. And quite frankly, if we win this competition and we get to the Welsh Cup final, it's a little bit more prize money than we would have got previously. So that's something we've got to look forward to. What else we might have to look forward to is this bit on the club vision screen. Rumoured that a takeover from a consortium could be on the offing. Now, we had this 2 or 3 years ago, so I'm not getting too excited, but there are so many news articles linking Serafino with selling the club. So many of them. We've got a very secure job, so I hope that won't change regardless of who comes in. But I think given the situation at the moment, we could do with a new owner. So we'll wait and see if that's the case. We've got our contract expiring the end of this season. We've had no news of a job offer at all. Of a contract offer, sorry. We're still running out in just 3 months' time. And despite winning a league title months ago, despite getting to the final of this one, we've got nothing because I don't think the owner really likes us. We're challenging him, we're trying to force him into making decisions, and, we're trying to get good signings in, not necessarily just Argentinian ones. And that's where I think the problem is. But either way, we're going to go and get into this cup final because everything looks good. The dynamics are solid. I know the playing staff's had a bit of turnover, so there's a little bit of uncertainty there. But the players at the top of that hierarchy have been ever present. So hopefully that means we'll be able to keep the dressing room atmosphere strong. If we go and have a look at our squad, we're pretty much as strong as we can be. And if we have a look at Dunfermline's, we looked at the key man. There's some real good players in here, and some familiar ones as well. So probably the first one that sticks out is Tunji Akinola, who's been a star centre-half for us at Dundee and the head coach. He's not quite as good in this universe, but he's still a very good centre-half and better than any of ours here at Bangor. If we look further down the squad list, Morgan Ferrier on the bench, a really good player at Tranmere in real life. So he's someone who's done well in the Football League and in National League football. He's not played a huge amount here and he is declining a bit, but still a very good dangerous threat. And then Luke Garbutt on the left-hand side, a player who's not really played much football here. Again, slightly declining, but we had him at Dundee United in Season 1 in our live stream series. He came in on loan and made a bit of an impact for a couple of months, so we know he's a very good player as well. There's a number of good ones in this squad, and just the overall team is really high quality. We saw the star man at centre-half in Coppin, but even if we look at some of the others, Kyle Turner in centre midfield, top quality player. Dominic Hutchinson on the right wing, pace to burn and determination as well. If we look at right back, Danny McNamara, a well-known name, has been playing in Scotland for a few years. He's a very good right back. And even Ross Doohan in goal. He's a Scottish under-21 international and he's got good attributes. He's far better than Zabret. And that's where I'm worried, is just the step up that we've got to play in a side like this. A side that are confident, that have got good morale, that are in form and are used to winning every single week. That's where the test is going to come. But if we go into our side, we can only focus on ourselves. It's going to be a new country in charge of the SPFL Trust Trophy, because it was Linfield from Northern Ireland who won it last year. And it's either going to go back to Scotland with Dunfermline or come to Wales with us for Bangor City. I'm not sure where the game's been played actually. Be interested to see. We'll have a look when we get there. Danny McNamara is going to be closed down, as is Harry Clifton. Oh wow, we missed him, didn't we? He's a fringe player for them, surely not. He started most of their games, but he is top notch. He's good League One early championship standard. We've been playing a few of the younger players in some of the league games just to get them physicality, get them fitness, get them football. So Jack Hankin at right back, one of those who's improving. Alex Reid back in at centre half, who's done okay. But we're going to replace them today. So Even Press will come in defence. Hockenhull has played well when he's come in. But I just don't know on the ball if he's going to be good enough. Where is he? Here he is down here. Now, do you know what? I'm going to go for Hockenhull. Natural centre half. Let's do it that way. Hankin will be replaced by Ethan Vaughan. We tried to sign him on a free at the end of the year. He's decided to stay with Pompey for another season. So unfortunately, he won't be joining us. Up front, we're going to stick with Dean and Duffy, who largely have been the main front two this season. And the midfield four's as good as it can be. So I think that's what we're going to stick with. That means our lineup for today is Gregor Zabret in goal, Vaughan and Bolton the fullbacks with Badebo and Hockenhull at centre-half, Benson, Magoma, Brooks and Cottrell the midfield diamonds, and then Duffy and Dean up front, over 30 goals each. Let's see if Dean can get towards 40. We might drop to balance when we get into it. We'll probably judge after the first 5 or 10. But it is the SPFL Trust Trophy Final. It's a massive competition for us. We talked about it, the 1.5 star reputation. It's bigger than our club, it's bigger than the Welsh League. If we can win it, it could be a big step for us. Let's see if we can do it, and let me know in the comments what you think will happen. Well, as it's cup final day, and purely by coincidence, I've gone for my daily walk a slight while ago. I have got a slightly nicer jumper on than usual, so the furthest away from tracksuit manager you'll probably see me for the rest of this series. But into it we go. All of the stars are playing for Dunfermline. It's their first 11. They're trying to win the trophy. And fair play to them for it. Against Celtic, against Rangers, even against Hamilton, we felt it wasn't necessarily their priority. But this one we're in no doubt. It's a big showpiece event. So let's get through the tunnel. Let's give the lads some positivity. And let's put some faith in these boys. I've still got absolutely no idea where we're playing. But let's see how the first half goes. A big game, the touchline tablet on the move. And Bangor City chasing a new trophy. And we've got a throw in on the left early on. Advanced position with Bolton. Plays it to Brooks. 1-2 into the box. Cottrell heads just over. Great attacking run from deep. Didn't quite get there though. And it remains 0-0 with 10 on the clock. Good start though. Just 5 minutes to the break. And our hosts are starting to get on top. Certainly in terms of the match stats. Benson wins it in the middle though. And when we're seeing the highlights, it's all us at the moment. As we come forward with Duffy, loses out in the air. So Brett clears it away though. Good sweeping from the keeper. Finds Cottrell. Through ball towards Dean. Akinola heads clear. We know just how big a presence he is at the back. He's been so good for us at Dundee and the head coach. As Millward comes down the left into the box. Coyote heads just over. And you know what? This is going to be a tense final. I can see this one going to the wire. Just a couple of minutes to the break. Coyote's got a throw. Finds Hutchinson in centre midfield. Picks it up and drifts wide and gives it back to Clifton. Duffy tries to get in with a challenge. Doesn't win it though. And it falls for Hutchinson on the right again. Delivery's over hit, but Millward picks it up. Back to Watson, his left back. Early delivery again. Coyote heads in. And that is excellent stuff. Dunfermline deserve their lead. They've been the better side in terms of the stats. We've not had any clear-cut chances. So we can't complain at being 1-0 down. We're yet to have a shot on target. I'm going to tell the lads there's nothing to lose. They're absolutely right by that. Let's just put our hands in our pockets. There's nothing to lose. Give it your best shot, lads. Duffy looks nervous, but Dabo anxious. And this is where you see who isn't a big game player, to be honest. We've got to try and push forward eventually, so I might have to go positive again. Because we're not looking like a threat. And with an hour gone, we can't be having that. So we're going to go back to positive. We're going to try and fire the lads up. And we are going to make some changes soon. But Coyote's got to throw on the left-hand side first to Clifton. Cuts back to Watson, his left back. It's still all Dunfermline here as Millward flicks on. Asula into the box. Magoma hacks it clear. Only to Watson, the left back though. Into Coyote. He loses out in the air but still picks it up. Finds McNamara. Cross from the right into Asula. And Zabret got caught in no man's land. So now it probably is cup tie over. Zabret, absolutely awful keeping. And unfortunately, they doubled their lead. Dunfermline are going to win the SPFL Trust Trophy. We've got some awful match ratings here today as well. So we're going to take off Cottrell. He'll be replaced by... I think we're going to go for Glatzel and just play with an attacking 3. Duffy in behind the front 2. Max Dean's motivated. We'll keep him on. Vaughan's poor and anxious. So Jack Hankin on at right back. Great experience for the youngster. And then Benson's on a yellow. Bolton's hampered by injury. Which one do you go for? I think, as it's Benson who's on a yellow, we're going to go for Liam Coyle. And with 25 to go, we'll just chase the game. It could be 3 or 4, but to me, that's better than losing with a whimper. 20 to go, can we save the cup final? Right, we're getting absolutely outplayed now. Garbutt off the bench, Asula heads in, and now we have to drop to balanced. It's 3-0, and it could get embarrassing. We've had 4 stunning performances in this trophy, but when we get to the final, we play the best team available in it. We've sort of gone down without really any fight. We've had a few anxious bodies out there, players who have stepped up to the big occasion before, but the cup final's been too much. It's a learning curve. It's something we've seen in the Welsh Cup as well. In 2 finals, we've probably in the second one we bottled it, to be honest. And that's something we've got to be wary of. Maybe more stronger personalities. We've got 3 or 4 in this year, but is it enough? As Dean goes wide to Hankin, can we at least get a goal for the fans to celebrate? Travelling up from Wales, let's give them something. Magoma goes back to Coyle. Out to Hankin on the right. Great ball into Glatzel. And it's been disallowed for offside. It must have been close because Hankin was by the byline. But it is disallowed and that's all that matters. 5 to go. 3-0 to Dunfermline. And probably not the dream final we were hoping for. As Millward's got a throw on the left-hand side. Asula heads away. Only as far as Watson and Garbutt. Back into midfield, it's nicked by Glatzel. He can put Dean in here, but he's going to go alone. Glatzel down the left-hand side. It's been forced wide. Beats his man eventually, though, into the box. His shot's at the keeper, who saves with his leg. Unconventional, but did the trick. And Magoma picks it up on the right. He gives it away, though. Wins it back off Watson. And eventually forces the throw-in. But a little bit of a fight at the end. Too late at 3-0, though, isn't it? At least we had a shot on target. But we have got to watch Dunfermline live the SPFL Trust Trophy. 3-0, a comfortable win. I don't think any of us can begrudge them winning that. They've dominated the final from start to finish, and they will lift the SPFL Trust Trophy. The shield turns to a cup, the cup is lifted by Dunfermline, and it is a 3-0 win. A great achievement for us to get to this final, but again, on the biggest occasion, in the biggest games, we've sort of whimpered, we've lacked the personality to do it. And that's unfortunate. But a good cup run, a good final, hopefully a little bit of finances into the club. Let's get to the dressing room, and to be honest, I don't want to say it was pleasing because they'll get annoyed. I'm going to say I'm disappointed. The lads have got motivated and will learn from it, but not the end we were hoping for. Certainly not the fairy tale finish. And with a cup final, we're immediately into the press. We say we gave it our best shot. We say we weren't as bad as the scoreline reflects, but in the end, we were, let's be honest. A very good performance from Dunfermline. They will definitely get promoted. An injury to Jack Bolton, he might miss the next league game. And we've been given 15,000, which again, it helps with the finances. Look, we're nearly up to break even. There's a positive. So we must have got something from the gate receipts as well. That's really going to help us. Let's see where the income came. It wasn't TV revenue. It wasn't fundraising so much. 15 grand prize money. Yeah, look at it. It's the gate receipts. I don't know where on earth it came from. I still don't know where the game was played, in truth. But that has made a massive difference to the club reaching the final. It was played at, I'm pretty sure that's St Johnstone's ground, is it? Let's go and have a look. It is. So St Johnstone's home ground. And of course, let's be fair, it's basically an away European game, isn't it? We're going away to a different country. And the home fans haven't got far to travel. So most of that audience would have been Dunfermline fans. But it's really helped. 10,000 came through the gate. I don't know if that's hugely realistic. Perhaps it is with Dunfermline. But it looks like we've got a 50% split of the gate receipts. And that is going to keep us going to the Champions League qualifiers. So an important moment. And we've got a couple more this season. We're going to keep playing some of the young players in the league games. We've got 3 or 4 more to go. We've got a Welsh Cup semi-final against lower league opposition. But we will be at our absolute strongest. And then we've got the Welsh Cup final, I hope. We haven't won that competition yet. And let's be fair, it's our only chance to get a second trophy and a cup competition this year. So we've got to try and make the most of it. It will be Barry or TNS, and we'll be back soon to find out who. Of course, I know a couple of you have been asking, so just as a reminder, we will have a 5 years in the future episode after next season. And we'll do the same every 5 years for the rest of this save. We've got the top scorers in the league, the best performers in the league, the top assist maker, the top clean sheet man, and everything's looking rosy domestically. It would have been a fairy tale today. It wasn't to be. But of course, we've got to be pleased with where we are. A chance to improve all the facilities, all of the upgrades next season that are due. And we've just got to win this Welsh Cup. Get that monkey off our back and give ourselves one less thing that we've got to tick off the cabinet. That's the main plan. Champions League football to come next season. Note, we are the champions. And hopefully we'll be finishing off next time with a Welsh Cup final. But if you did enjoy this one, our big day out in Scotland, albeit ending in heavy defeat, please do put a thumbs up on the video. Let me know what you thought of the performance down in the comments. Let me know what you thought of that awful youth intake as well. No more transfer news since the last episode. We have been trying to get a few out of the club because the domestic loan window's open, but it's just not been working, I'm afraid. No takers now because I think we're playing slightly bigger wages and we just can't get as many out as a result. Certainly not domestically anyway. But if you want to stay up to date and you're looking forward to the rest of the series, please do subscribe down below and turn that notification bell on. You'll get alerts as daily content releases on the channel from 2 long-term stories. We'll of course be back with what we hope is a Welsh Cup final in the next episode of this. In between now and then, we've got a massive episode from the head coach. If you've missed the last few, please do check out in the eye above. A change of club, a new job, and certainly some interesting moments at the start. But a massive thank you for your support with this series, the channel in general, and of course the podcast as well. We're nearing 800 subscribers over there, and I'm nearing 2,100 here. A massive growth since the new game, and I just can't thank you enough for it. So I hope you continue to enjoy the series. I can't thank you enough for your incredible support. And I'll see you next time for what I hope is a big Welsh Cup final and a chance at a new trophy for the second time this season. Let's hope we don't fail this time. I'll see you there.